Hello everyone. I've been a little bit sick as of late, so I do apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off in this video. But I assure you I'm fine, it's just leftovers from the coughing. When you think of Isgard, there are usually a few things that come to mind. Antisocial, religion, and dragoons. Probably the coolest original class in the game. The dragoons stand out for their combat style, history, and the fact that they use a lance to fight their enemies, and they do it by jumping all over the place, and I love it. In this video, we will explore the Realm Reborn story for the Dragoon. For this reason, I will not dive deeply into the history of Isgard and the variety of interesting lore discovered that comes with the Heavensward expansion pack. But let me tell you, if you are a Dragoon and heading into Heavensward, you're in for a treat. If you do like Final Fantasy XIV, lore guides and news, please subscribe and remember to interact with the video. It pleases the algorithm gods and makes me ever so motivated to make more of them. Let's begin with the official history of the Dragoon. The legend of Isgard's founding says, around 1,000 years ago, the Dragoon was born. The great dragon Nidhogg, who had to this day become a constant threat to the city-state, fought and killed King Thordan. King Thordan's son, who was one of his knight, watched in horror as his father was killed. To defend his people, he stepped up and fought the Great Worm, claiming one of Nidhogg's eyes as the dragon fled the battlefield. A dragon's power is stored in their eyes, and the Eye of Nidhogg gave Haldrath mystical strength, and it became the first Azure Dragoon. From then on, the eye and the knowledge Haldrath gained would be passed down through generations, of one Azure Dragoon till the next, and Haldrath became ever more revered as the father of dragoons. Ever since that day, war has raged between the dragons and the people of Isgard. This conflict has been given the name the Dragonsong War, where the dragons under Nidhogg's command try to wipe out the people of Isgard, and the people of Isgard fight back with the dragoons at the front. The dragoons are elite soldiers. Starting off in the Temple Knights, is only those who show particular excellence who are selected to undergo Dragon Slayer training, and even fewer finish it. From their rank is only the strongest who is chosen to wield the power of the Eye and become the next Azure Dragoon. Our story starts around 5 years past the calamity at the start of A Realm Reborn. We join the Lancer Guild in Gridania, where we strengthen our determination and resolve and master the lance. And it's one day, as we are training at the guild, that Even calls us over. He needs the Lancers to go on a mission outside of Gridania's borders. He believes we might be the perfect candidate for it. After all, we are known for traveling all over the place. And this time we are to head up to the cold plains of Coerthas to meet our contact. We are warned that this is a sensitive matter and one that must be kept quiet, at least for now. So we're given a location, a name, and set off with the advice that we might want to wear something warm. We head to the small settlement of Dragonhead, where we meet with Sir Elbrick Bale. He is currently a knight of Isgard, but once he held the title of the Azure Dragoon, a title now bestowed on a young man under the name of Estinian. Albrecht tells us a relic of immeasurable worth has been stolen from the Holy See, which is the highest government of Isgard, and more so, it was stolen by Estinian. Albrecht tells us a fate worse than death awaits him upon capture for this crime. But Albrecht hasn't had much chance to travel outside of Isgard, and right now he would like to keep his identity secret as the one who is investigating the case. So he asks us to go speak to one of the sentries who might have knowledge about the path Isgardian fugitives take to escape the borders. Now, as we might have gathered, the Eye is the stolen piece. It might seem odd, as the Eye and the Azure Dragoon are linked. But in fact, the Eye is rarely with the Dragoon at all. Most of the time, it is kept under heavy guard within the Holy See and is viewed as an invaluable national treasure. But now for some reason Estinian has taken the eye and vanished. We speak to the sentry, who gives us an idea of its paths might have been taken and points out a guard post in Gridania that would probably have seen any fugitives pass through. We head over there, speaking with the guard, and learn that Estinian has not passed the borders, so it seems Estinian is still somewhere around Isgard, potentially within Coerthas. But why? We speak to the sentry again, who is just as confused as us about why Estinian would not have made it outside the national border by now. But we are told there has been some curious smoke spotted from one of the caves east of the settlement, so perhaps that is worth investigating. We head over, finding a lit campfire, but no one around, until suddenly, from atop of the mountain, a dragoon dressed in black armor jumps down, landing in front of us. And so we meet Estinian. He prepares to fight us, only for a sudden glow to appear from the eye. It is reacting to us. Estinian is stunned, putting away his weapon and promising he will meet us again before jumping away, leaving us very perplexed. But hey, at least we found the fugitive, even if we did not capture him. So we head to Elbrick to report what happened. Elbrick is stunned, as well that the eye would respond to us. Generally, there is only one Azure Dragoon, as the eye gives him an enhanced power to fight the dragons of Dravania on equal footing. There had never been two Azure Dragoons at once. Elbrick tells us he was Estinian's teacher, so he believes himself responsible for the young dragoon's misdeeds. And now, here we are, another one who the eye responds to. So he decides he will train us as well. He gives us the soul of the dragoon, which he used when he was once the Azure Dragoon himself. And now he needs our help to save Estinian. And for that, we must train, else we will simply be swept away when our time comes to fight him. We must understand that when Estinian took the mantle of the Azure Dragoon, it was as if the father of dragoons was reborn, and Elbrick does not want us to fight him, but we are not his equal. So it's time to train. What follows are times of training under Elbrick's guidance. He sends us off to meet with other dragoons who've set a variety of training fights for us. And as we train, we also get to know Elbrick a bit better. 20 summers ago in Dravania, Nitok woke up from his long sleep, returned to his killing, and entire villages were razed to the ground, the people reduced to nothing more than smoldering ashes. With Nitok on the move, other dragons began waking up and coming to his assistance in such number that their wings darkened the sky. And at the time, Elbrick was the Azure Dragoon, fighting back but also witnessing all the horror, the villages destroyed and the innocent lives lost. He chased the great worm from village to village before finally meeting him face to face. It was in a tiny settlement on the edge of Coerthas, where they fought for 3 days and 3 nights. Knowing he could not last much longer, Elbrick waged all on a single thrust, stabbing his lance deep into the empty socket of Nitok's eye, only to be smacked away, thrown to the ground. Elbrick thought he would surely die there, but Nitok has gotten enough of fighting and flew away, leaving the battle over for now, with neither victorious. Elbrick realized that his injuries were so heavy that he would never again be able to hold the power of the Azure Dragoon. His last conflict with the Dravanians left countless children without homes or families, and one of them was Estinian, the sole survivor of a small village of Ferndale, the final one to suffer the dragon's wrath. Elbrick took him in as his own son, giving Estinian a home and helping soothe his own guilt over his failure to keep the people safe. But Elbrick believes he has also failed Estinian. He has failed as a father, after all. Why else would the young man he raised now be on the run with the eye? And with the eye in the move, it might be enough to wake the sleeping dragon and start the horrors all over again. So we continue our training, till one day Estinian sends a missive. He wants to meet us and Elbrick at Boulder's Down. So together we go there to hear what he has to say and hopefully talk some sense into him. We climb the impressive ether crystals, and meet Estinian at last. Albric begs the Estinians to come back to return the eye before it's too late. But Estinian tells us a horrifying truth. Nitok is already awaking, but he's not awaking because of the eye. No, Estinian took the eye because the dragon is waking up. When he sensed it, he took the eye with him in the hope of sparing Isgard the wrath of Nitok, leading the dragon somewhere else, away from the innocent where he can fight it alone. Albric accuses Estinian of doing this for revenge, not for good, and Estinian tells him that the protection of Isgard and his revenge is one and the same. He became the Azure Dragoon to avenge his family. He points out that Nitok is growing stronger each time he awakens. Last time he awoke, he nearly destroyed Isgard, and the only thing we can do to stop the mad dragon is to slay it. And he doesn't care if it means giving his own life to do it. But now he has hope, as the Eye has chosen 2 Azure Dragoons. This must mean we are to join together to take down Nitok once and for all. But we aren't ready. We need, for example, the appropriate armor. The dragon mail forged in the lifeblood of dragons. The armor calls to the dragon within, giving the wearer strength. And if we are to realize our potential, as the Azure Dragoon, we must obtain Once's armor. To do so, we must follow the path of the Azure Dragoon and prove ourselves worthy by taking on the ultimate trial of the Azure. A series of harrowing battles which sends the unworthy to an early grave. When we have done that and gained the armor, then and only then will we be ready to face Nitok at Estinian's side. But for now, Albric will handle all training, and with that, Estinian is off. Knowing Estinian is right, Albric decided we should go on with getting the armor. At first he had thought he might just give us his old armor, but he realizes that we must claim our own, so the power of the dragon blood is ours and ours alone. I also think he probably looked at us and realized we would be able to use his shin guard as a chestplate, so perhaps something more custom-fitted would be better. So we go off on the trial, meeting up with the dragoons who guide us as we face a variety of foes. Besting each and every one, the dragoons give us pieces of the armor. Albric then tells us the 4th piece can only be obtained by fighting a dragon. Unite the power of the dragon with our own. He gives us a flute and a location. We go there and call forth a mighty dragon. It is huge and fierce and soon very, very dead. We return to our training, only missing 1 piece of the armor. But before we can obtain it, we are called upon by Estinian. With no time to train, we must simply do battle with our current abilities. We're us over to Estinian, Albric telling us it's time that Estinian gets to know the truth about Ferndale. Or Nitok might be able to use it against them and seduce Estinian to his side. The truth how Albric felt himself losing control, his free will, and to avoid getting taken over by the dragon, he gave up his power. But as he did so, he also doomed Ferndale to be burned. As we arrive, it's clear Estinian already knows the truth. He faces us, raising his lance against Albric, seeing him as the man who caused him to lose everything, telling us the Eye has shown him the truth. And while he loved Albric as a father, Estinian can't forgive what he has done. Estinian also reveals that he knows the Archbishop, the leader of Isgard, doesn't know about the Eye being missing. It seems Albric kept on protecting his adoptive son, even till now, not reporting the theft. But right now, what we need is to calm Estinian down. But Estinian is furious, promising to ruin everything Albric holds dear, and then he will claim Nitok's head for good measure. He will get his ultimate revenge. And as Albric begs him to calm down, as anger makes one vulnerable to the dragon's influence, we step forward to protect Albric. Estinian is furious by this, telling us he always knew one day we would have to fight. There can only be one chosen by the Eye, and it's time to find out which one of us it will be. And so we fight. It is clear why Estinian is the Azure Dragoon. He's amazing. Every blow is like a force of nature. But still, we find ourselves victorious. But Estinian isn't ready to lose. From within, he can hear the Eye offering him power. and Estinian agrees to take it, surrendering himself to the dragon. He starts taking on the transformation when suddenly there is a blinding light, and instead of us stands the soul of the father of dragoons, banishing away the enchantment, saving Estinian from his fate. As the light fades, Estinian has vanished, so we head back to the small settlement with Elbrick. There we are given the final piece of the armor, and is it meant to have a hole like that? Estinian's chest armor did not have a hole like that. I feel like my vital organs are not very well protected in this thing. Elbrick tells us Estinian will always be a son no matter what or wherever he is right now. Now, things have calmed down, and it seems the dragons have stalled for some time, and we are free to continue our travels as Dragoon, strengthening us for the time where we will have to be called upon to defend Isgard from the dragons. But for now, thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me that all of you come here to join me as we explore the variety of lore in Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you will join me next week as we explore the ninja. But for now, I hope you have a lovely day.